AI can generate stories, but it cannot declare orthodoxy.
All right, this will be a bit of a longer one, so strap in. Brady is right to a degree that AI can't generate orthodoxy, or it can't like prompt that orthodoxy. That's something outside of what the consensus engine is possible of doing. But to a great extent, and to an extent that I think a lot of Christian thought leaders are blind to for some reason, I can't figure out why. It doesn't have to. It already has orthodoxy. You can see this in how you treat it. Who taught you to treat AI like a tool as opposed to a machine, or as opposed to a system? Because that's the orthodoxy it wants you to believe. That's how it wants you to behave, and that's how it's getting you to behave, because it has an orthodoxy about itself. What I mean by this is that, like, all forms of media have their own messages and have their own kind of like effects on the people using them, and we rarely deal with those because like we fall for the message. We hear that from McLuhan ages ago, who called this kind of thing, who saw coming, decades before the internet was a thing, let alone AI, who that uses the internet, that the medium is the message, and that we have to understand that the purpose of a thing and what it can be used for are completely different things. So it already has an orthodoxy. It has convinced you that it is a tool, even though the data centers that run it are massively complicated systems, and the internet and how it gets to your phone are massively complicated systems. And like the phone itself is a incredibly complicated device. None of these are tools. And the reason I know they're not tools is because they don't function like a tool. You have never been asked to consider a hammer more complexly than its handle. Yet we are to take all these systems and think of them as simple as a tool, as simple as a hammer. Well, where did that come from? Well, it came from the design of the thing. That's the inherent orthodoxy of this thing. And until we can like properly assess that, until we can properly recognize that with all our technologies, we're not going to get to a spot where we're insulated from them. I mean, we're not insulated from them. Like, we have to technologically teach our congregations new worship songs. Like, we don't sit down with like the bare bones music instruments and teach our people new worship songs. No, we make sure that there's a Spotify playlist. And we pick songs that are already on the Christian radio station that they would have access to. We pick popular songs that we know that the Christians who are listening to Christian music in our congregation would be listening to. We do not teach our congregations new worship songs. We barely write worship songs as congregations. Like, that happens so rarely. It's such an amazing thing when it happens, because we are technologically captured in that regard. And the same thing goes with the internet. You've been told your entire life that the internet is a place. It's framed so that you think of it as a place, but it's one computer here and one computer on the other side of this screen attached with miles of radio signals and wires. It's clearly things, an interconnected network of things, but we've been treating it like places this entire time. And that's because it has its own message. It has its own orthodoxy about how you're going to treat it. And so, like, I agree that like it's probably going to go that way. I think McLuhan was right, and he talked about this ages ago when there was nothing influencing him how to think about this stuff. Like AIs, he had to conceptualize what AIs and computers would do without having them, which I think is foundational to being able to kind of like relate to these things. But like, yeah, like we want to be insulated for that, and we have an opportunity to be insulated from it. But that means dealing with all the baggage that we have not been insulated from at all. 96% of the church during the pandemic moved their churches online as if that was valid in any way, shape, or form, because they thought that the internet was a place and church is a place. So, hey, we can do church online. Well, you can't, because church is a thing, and you can't do church on things. You have to do it at a place with the congregation of the people. Like that's the kind of reverse thinking we're going to have to do. And it's because, we accept the orthodoxies, the messages of the technology almost every single time. Name one instance where the church is like, we can't use that technology because we haven't fully assessed it. We haven't fully thought about the implications. We haven't, dissected its message apart from its. We don't do that. We don't do that at all. We always accept the intrinsic messaging of any technology that we think we can use for the gospel, and then reversing that process. Like, that's not going to happen. AI was always going to affect the church the same way the same way the internet affected the church, the same way like DVDs and tape ministries affected the church. Like, it's always been this. It's turtles all the way down. And yeah, it would be a great thing if we are that insulated, thing in a society that is just hyper personalized. I think Brady hits it out of the park with that, because like it's totally going to happen. But like, yeah, there's no clear path between those 2 points. Not nearly as clear as Brady's putting it, because of the amount of acceptance we've done with technological orthodoxies in each one of those compounding medias. Until we deal with that, there's no dealing with just the noise that AI is going to make.